What's going on, people? It's your boy Emad, and this is Allez Football. In this video, we're going to be introducing the world to Allez Football. I'd like to start by introducing myself. My name is Emad. I'm the founder, and most importantly, a very loyal football fan. Americans like to call soccer fanatic. Basically, my day-to-day life depends on football. One day, I'm laughing at rival fans for capitulating. The next day, I'm hiding under a rock in shame and somewhat disbelief. It's coming from a Liverpool fan that is in a love-hate relationship, toxic slash euphoric relationship. What's so beautiful about the sport is no matter how much shit you talk with the rival fans, you best believe the next game you guys play each other, you're going to be talking crap again. You're going to show up again, and you're going to anticipate again, and you're going to hide again after. You know, in soccer, and especially if you watch a lot of YouTuber fan channels that cover a lot of soccer and football, you'll find a lot of recency bias. So you're only as good as your last 3 games type of thing. You could like have a treble like Man City did last year, but like have a bad game against like Fulham or someone, and they'll be like, oh, they don't have it anymore, and they're no longer in a top contender. 2 games later, now Liverpool's not the top contender, and Arsenal's choking, but Man City is gonna win the rest of the games when they just doubted them before. There's a lot to talk about when you're in the soccer business, and why not have a channel? I do have previous experience YouTubing. I have blogged before, had the privilege to attend a Champions League final, only to be heartbroken. It was the one with Real Madrid over in Kiev, Ukraine. Believe it or not, Liverpool versus Real Madrid. And as you can see in the back right here, that's the actual banner I had over there. I bought it there in Kiev as I was attending. And in that game, if you guys know, my favorite player, being that I'm Egyptian, Liverpool fan, was Mo Salah, and he was injured by Sergio Ramos, and I witnessed that firsthand. And ever since that, it was a gift with a curse. I never gave up on supporting the team, even though we did lose, obviously, that game. And to that, we went on to win it the next year. But when you have hope and everything, you would love this game more and more the more you invest your time into it. The thing about me is why I wanted to start this channel is a little backstory of what led me to this position in life. Obviously, you guys don't know me, but I do have my own business that I run, so I'm quite busy most of the time, but always find time to watch my games. And even if my team's not playing, if there's like a specific game, people might say I'm not as good as a fan as other people because I have multiple teams that I support. My number one is Liverpool, but growing up it has been Real Madrid, and my hometown team from Egypt is Al Ahly. The Centurion team is the best team in African history. I support them as well as Liverpool. And with Real Madrid, it's not like, oh, I'm like Hala Madrid all the time. If they're playing, I have to watch. Is there something about it? Whether they're doing good or bad, just have to watch. So ever since I was very young, the backstory I wanted to start with you guys, sorry if I sidetracked. I was born in Egypt, but I moved to America at a young age. All my friends were American. I was following, the basketball teams, more like American sports. But, my mom and my dad used to have us travel to Egypt a lot. At one point, I actually lived in Egypt for about 4 years straight. It was during my elementary years. I went to American school there. It was a language school in Egypt. Funny enough, after I made friends, I started learning Arabic. I started playing soccer. As soon as the bell would ring, we would all run out, throw our book bags, and we'll bring out a soccer ball, and everybody just start playing. No matter whether it's in the middle of the street, in hallways, everybody always had to play. It grew on me, and in Egypt, there's a lot of diehard fans. It was very contagious. I became an Ahly fan by default almost. Watching the games, it was very euphoric. I remember back in '98, it was around that same time, Egypt won the African Cup. That same year, there was the World Cup, I think it was France, and also the African Cup. Those 2 events made me love soccer or football. With the Zinedine Zidane and all that stuff, it was great. It was a great time to watch the game. And I became very gravitated to it. And at that point, I moved back to America, obviously, and I would watch soccer games here and there, and back then I really, really liked Real Madrid. I liked the Egyptian soccer team, obviously, but we weren't doing anything after '98. The next time I was following a player named Ahmed Hussein Mido, and he was an Egyptian player that was playing abroad, and he's playing for Ajax Amsterdam. He's playing with Ibrahimovic. Everybody, as a young Egyptian that loved soccer, everybody was following him. He went from strength to strength. He went to Roma and then ended up at Spurs. And watching the Premier League back then, I kind of gravitated more to the Premier League. Granted that, Egyptian player, Premier League at that point. I was watching still Real Madrid, even though they were at their prime, it was like 06 through 08. But I took notice of the Premier League, and I was watching, when Liverpool would play Spurs and stuff like that. Steven Gerrard shoot rockets from like 30 yards out. It was great to watch. I was like, wait, let me watch the Premier League more. Once Mido left out of there, went to Middlesbrough, there was another Egyptian player that was catching the attention of everyone. And funny enough, I did visit Egypt in 06. That same year, there was the Africa Cup of Nations, was in Egypt. At that time, Mido was playing in the Egyptian team. And being that I was watching him and playing in the Premier League and in Europe, I was very gravitated to watch the Egyptian team. I remember that one memory back in '98 when we won. We won it that year, but it was very controversial because Mido had that incident happen with the coach, Hassan Shahada, and he was getting subbed out. He started yelling at each other back and forth. As soon as he got subbed out, Amir Zaki, another player that was playing in the Premier League after that, scores a header, and Mido didn't play since. And we won that. We won that African Cup. I attended one of the games. It was against Cameroon. We won that game. So I became more of a diehard fan after we won that. And then the following Africa Cup of Nations was in 08. Egypt won it again. And then there was one after that in 2010. We won it again. So they did a three-peat. During that three-peat, there was Mohamed Zidane came out, played amazing with Mainz, and then went to Dortmund. I followed him very closely too. So when I would go to Egypt that time, I didn't have as many friends because the only friends I had were the friends I had in elementary school. And every 5 years, people change. We kind of grew apart. So like when I went there, my mom and dad, all our computers and everything was back in America. So I would have to go to internet cafes, something that I'm not sure any Americans know about, but in Egypt it was popping off back then. People would either go play games. So I would play FIFA 98, and I also surf the web on there. I would go on Google, and there was this one website. If any Egyptian from back in the day knows this, I'll know immediately they're a true fan. It was called EgyptianPlayers.com. It will show you all the Egyptian players' highlights and everything in Europe. So it'll be like Ahmed Hassan in Turkey. It would have Zidane over in Germany. It'll have Mido over in the Premier League. Amir Zaki, whenever he scored, they would put his goals on there too. And I believe he was like a top scorer at that point in the Premier League. He was going for the Golden Boot, but mentality-wise, he didn't do very well. Now, fast forward to like 2014, 2015, 2016. Real Madrid was killing it. And I was following Egypt, we were doing all right. I think we advanced to the African Cup, and one of the reasons was this player, Mo Salah, which was at that time, he was playing in Basel over in Switzerland. Until he went to Chelsea, I was like, damn, so now we got an Egyptian back in Premier League. He played like a handful of times. He scored that one goal, the sixth goal and that was the only relevance he had. He was called the Chelsea flop. He left the league. He went over to Italy, and I followed him even when he was in Fiorentina. He hit up Roma. He killed it in Roma. Around 2016, there was the rumors of him going to Atletico Madrid or Liverpool. I was like, that's not a good idea. I don't think he should go to Liverpool, being that, Premier League wasn't very good for him. And I saw him doing great in Roma. I was like, dude, you must go to like Juve or Inter Milan or something like that, or even Atletico Madrid. I don't think the Premier League is good enough. Lo and behold, rumors became a reality. He signed. He got the Golden Boot and broke the Premier League record for goals scored in the 38-game season. That blew me away. And the way they were playing, and even in the Champions League, They were blowing teams away. Not only did I notice Mo Salah at that point, I already knew he was good back in Roma. I was like, he's gonna kill it. He has Real Madrid written all over him. And Liverpool, my first thing I noticed about Liverpool, once Mo Salah gravitated me to watching them again, was Jurgen Klopp. He changed the way I looked at soccer altogether. Being that I was a fan since I was like a little kid, that gag and press, heavy metal football, the choice of players he put together, it was genius. It was something of dreams. Granted, I think that first year, Manchester United got second with Jose Mourinho. Liverpool was still, everybody was talking about Liverpool, they're the next best thing. They're going to go ahead and win the Premier League. They're going to win the Champions League. The way they're playing, they're going to win the Club World Cup. They're going to win the Super Cup. They're going to win the FA Cup. They're going to win the League Cup, in which we did eventually. When Mo Salah moved to there, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to hold my hands up. I scratched Roma, Real Madrid. I became a Liverpool fan. I loved Liverpool before, but I became an actual fan when I saw how Klopp was playing and I saw that Egyptian player was playing there. I'm going to hold my hands up. I was not a Liverpool fan before Mo Salah signed for Liverpool. However, once he did, I saw that Fab Four. I saw that Sadio Mane. The team that Jurgen Klopp put together, Michael Edwards, was amazing. Getting Sadio Mane from Southampton, getting Roberto Firmino from Hoffenheim. Those players, and I remember the Fab Four, like I was saying, Coutinho playing with Salah, with Sadio Mane and Firmino. It was a great time to be a Liverpool fan. And I aspire to watch every single match, whether we win, lose, or draw. Even when we lost and we drew, something a little different, we always did it in a beautiful way. Even when we lost in a beautiful way. And I fell in love with the team, I'm not going to lie. And, once Coutinho left and we got that Virgil van Dijk signing and Alisson Becker, and we got that spine going, Fabinho, wow. That team, you're a Manchester United fan. You have to hold your hands up and admire it. And that's what I did. Here I am years later, still supporting. And actually just yesterday, we got knocked out of the Europa League on the hands of Atalanta in Italy. Even though we won that second leg 1-0, still left out 3-1. But here's my first episode, my first video uploaded in the channel after that. Like, if you're not a real fan, you'll be like, man, screw this. I think that you don't appreciate trophies until you lose games like these. If we had it easy at the Europa League, the first time we stepped foot in the Europa League, once we qualified for it from last year, they're like, oh yeah, Liverpool's winning it. You got to beat what's in front of you, and that's what not a lot of fans understand. If we would have smooth sailed through all this and we made it to the final versus Bayer Leverkusen and beat them, they'll be like, oh, even though it's Bayer, it was a big team and they won that, we all knew Liverpool was going to win it. Here we are now in the quarterfinals with Liverpool knocked out. Losing at Anfield, Jurgen Klopp's last European night under the lights, losing 3-0. They got the clean sheet in Anfield and beat us. And sadly, Klopp is leaving. And this is a new chapter. We could have that dip that Manchester United had post Sir Alex Ferguson, or even the one post Arsene Wenger for Arsenal. But here I am. I'm still going to support it. We're definitely guaranteed Champions League next year. How could you not want to be a Liverpool fan knowing that Champions League is coming back to Anfield next year with a new manager and new players? And the very person that drew me towards Liverpool was Mo Salah. And I can tell you right now, he's going to be gone in the summer. But I'm going to continue. And you hear you'll never walk alone. I heard that at the Champions League final in Ukraine. Not even in Anfield. And I had tears in my eyes. I felt like I was a part of something. Like I was telling you guys, soccer will bring you close to other people. When I was in Egypt and I didn't have friends, I would go to those internet cafes. And the only common ground I had with those people, when I had a very heavy Egyptian accent over there, was about soccer. I made friends, and I'm happy to say I still talk to them till now. 37 years old. And this was happening back in 2006 back then. So, and right now we're in 2024. So soccer does bring people together. So when you watch professionals do it, and you know how hard it is for 90 minutes, you just have to clap. You just have to clap. They deserve every penny they're getting for doing this for a whole season, 90 minutes a game, 90 minutes plus, all season. And still like getting hate and players getting bullied that are training all week long so they can impress you. You still get hate. If you go on a 30-game winning streak and you lose 2, you'll lose people's praise. And that's not fair for some fans. The recency bias and all that, I hate that. If you support your soccer team, you'll know that there's wins, there's losses, there's whatever. But as long as you believe in the system and you have an identity and all that, that's what makes you a fan, is that you're in there for the long haul. You're not going to switch up a jersey just because somebody beat you with a big scoreline or something. Or your manager is leaving or your best player is leaving. Soccer is bigger and deeper than that. And this is why I have this channel. In the future, we're going to be doing a lot of interviews with other YouTubers, previewing matches and reviewing matches as well. Season reviews. We're going to also be doing player ratings after games. And we're going to do a lot of raffles, giveaways. We'll also do live videos and vlogs as well from the games. So all kinds of stuff. And I'm looking forward to it. I've kind of been doing my research. Excuse me if this has not been written or anything. This is all unedited content at the moment. Obviously later I'll probably get better. I would like to obviously accumulate some kind of subscribers. So if you could subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. I hope you like the video. Honestly, this is just an introduction. We're going to be diving deeper into tactics and stuff like that, and getting familiar with the YouTube community. And hopefully you guys will like the videos. I'll see you guys next video. Our next video is actually going to be working on after this one. It's going to be the Fulham preview. Liverpool versus Fulham run-in. We got the last 6 games. We'll see who wins. As I was saying earlier, I think Liverpool and Arsenal are going to choke. Man City's going to win, but I hope Liverpool prove me wrong, prove us all wrong and surprise us. But yeah, this has been your first episode. Your boy Emad over here, Allez Football. Let's go.